Mike from Cornwall, good day. Tom Make here, hello. Joe, good day. Craig, hello. Matt, good to see ya. Fridge, good day. Stephen Lang, Shark River Machine, hello and good morning. Russell Dole, good day. Mark Osborne, hello. David Ian Sykes and Russ Knox, good day. Good to see ya. Stuart Hingston, hello. Peter Noddle. Nigel Harding, hello. Message redacted. Paul from Necklace Workshop, good day. John Creasy, hello. There you all are. Yeah. It's happening, everyone. Bill, good day. Did I see Bill? Yeah, hey Bill, good day. Kevin, hello. New video from Kevin this week, or today, just recently, just dropped. Engine running. Very impressed. Aaron, good day. And Nigel Harding, hello. That's pretty exciting. New video from Craig too this week about the move. Who else did I see a video from? There's probably one from Rustanox, I think. See that? Yeah, I'm making Mr. Pete's hammer. One from Paul at the Necklace Workshop. I saw that. Two from John Creasy. There you go. 2 videos from John Creasy, everyone. One from Stephen Lang, I think. I think I saw one from Stephen Lang. Pretty exciting. Me sounding very formal. Sounding very tired, actually. I've had a pretty big weekend. Stuff's going down. A lot can change in a week. If we're going to address the elephant in the room. Yeah, a lot can change in a week. I'm bit of a story. Come home Saturday night, and guy lives upstairs, landlord here, getting on a bit. He's not even getting on a bit. He's only about. Wouldn't be 70, I don't think. Was on the phone. He just got home. Obviously, the car was still warm, boat attached to it. Hadn't been washed yet, so he hadn't been home in daylight hours, because it's usually the first thing is to wash the tender on the boat. Been at the houseboat for 10 days or so over Easter. Anyway, come home and he was on the phone, so I didn't sort of interrupt him, and coming downstairs, had a hot shower and lay down on the bed for 10 minutes and was half asleep, and got a knock on the door from a fire. A fireman who said, you know, do you know the guy upstairs? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And yeah, he's not doing so well, and we've had to break in and so forth and so on, and just let you know that we're here. So anyway, that's all very well. So I went up again at about 2 or 3 hours later, and there was still a couple of CLB guys hanging around. I'm thinking, oh gosh, what's happened here, you know? So anyway, one of them says, well, guy hasn't made it, didn't make it downstairs, actually had a heart attack, and looks like that was the end of him. Obviously, or apparently he's had heart problems for a little while. So yeah. So I went in, ID'd the body, and sort of come down and mind my own business for Saturday and Sunday, and sort of had a bit of a look at rental properties and things like that. But anyway, what's happened is I've got to find somewhere else to put some stuff for a bit, and fairly quickly. Probably I've got about a month, I reckon. Might have 6 weeks, but I've probably only got about a month. So looking around, difficult thing. So looking around, and not a big deal. I'm sort of Gold Coast and COVID and stuff, and rentals here is crazy expensive, and I've got an okay job. I mean, I do have a good job, but I really don't want to spend a whole lot of money on rent. I'm not really in a position to buy anything if there was anything available, which there's not. I would like a little commercial property with some place to crash upstairs, but that's sort of illegal for fire restrictions and things in commercial zone properties in Queensland. You're not allowed to stay on the premises. I know there's people who do it, and I know people who do it, and I know that it's an actual thing. And talking to a real estate agent, and it is an actual thing, but there are reasons that it doesn't happen, and one of them is that no one knows who's on the property. I guess if you're running a print farm or something that needs 24/7 surveillance, well, there's always someone there, isn't there? So I don't know. I really don't know. But I've looked at a couple of little leases. One of them was pretty good, but never had a shower in the bathroom. Had nice bath, or a reasonable bathroom, and a nice kitchenette, and a separate office to make a good bedroom, living quarters, and a bit of space for a workshop, which would be nice. There's a lot more space than here, and it was in the right price bracket, absolutely. And it's, as far as I know, it's still available. However, there's nowhere to there's no shower cubicle in the place, and that didn't seem to be an option on it. So that rules that out. Location, everything else is fantastic. So anyway. Yeah, chat's gone very quiet. So that's where we're at. Not sure really what to do. I've got to find a place, and there is a couple of places in Nerang that I'm chasing that are a lot closer to civilization than I am out here, which is pretty good, and a lot more conducive to having a bit of a workshop than this would be, and sort of in my price range. However, I'm probably going to have to go back to work for an extra day a week, something like that, day and a half a week, something like that, which is doable. It's not a big deal, until I at least get a bit established and some space to actually do some jobs for other people. What else? Not much else, except I'm putting stuff in boxes. I've got packing boxes here everywhere, and stuff's absolute shambles, and I'm filling them up. I went and got a storage locker over at National Storage this week, and I've got half a dozen boxes over there already, and I guess by the end of the week I'll have another dozen boxes or so over there. So stuff's slowly packing up, but I haven't really started on the whole workshop thing yet. I'm not sure what to do about that, or how or where to actually make it work. I haven't got any machines I can't really just lift off the bench and carry around. The milling machine's probably the exception. It's pretty heavy, but there are ways around that. I guess we can borrow something to do it. Apart from that, I got it up there myself, so I guess I can get it down myself. So got a yeah, it'd be really nice. It'd be really nice if someone knew of somewhere, but I don't really want to live with anyone who's got to put up with me. And honestly, I mean, everyone on the Gold Coast must have a downstairs rumpus room garage with a attached bathroom and granny flat. I mean, that's a given. And I see them all the time. So someone must be renting one out, but generally they don't come up as actual garage space. They sort of, the garage is not really included. So I don't know what to do there. There's if I want to move to Logan or closer to Brisbane or in some of the industrial, or lower, some of the lower income areas, then rent gets a bit cheaper. But here on the Gold Coast, right where I am, where work is, sort of place I'd like to live in and move to and buy would be 900 to $1 million, and I really haven't got that, and haven't got any way of ever thinking that I'd get it back. So that's where I'm at, and that's the problem. There are some pretty shabby rentals and lease arrangements for commercial properties that are okay, but it's sketchy about actually living there, and it's sketchy about all sorts of stuff actually. Anyway, anyone knows someone who's got a basement on the Gold Coast that wants to get rid of it, that'd be cool, or actually rent it to someone. Yeah, good video, Craig. Your latest says that's very true. Don't know how you're getting on, Was. I haven't talked to you for a week, and I'm sorry about that, but got people to help with the move. It's not a big deal to actually move. That's probably the least of our problems, is actually moving stuff. We can sort that. The problem is finding somewhere to move it to. That's where we're at. I put it all in storage, and that costs money too, and I've still got to pay rent or somewhere. So I'm going to pay just as much in rent as for a unit or a flat as I will for somewhere, an industrial place there. So look, can't afford anything big enough to put a caravan in, which is the other option. It's just not going to happen. I'm probably going to, seriously, if I could get something that's about 120, 130 square meters, is about where we're at with that. That would be twice as big as this place, so that would be awesome. But I don't know how the funds are going to stretch to that either. More likely we're going to get something that's 70 to 90 square meters. Anyway, so that's what's happening. A tent's probably an option, Russ. I've still got to have a shower because I've got to go to work and look half presentable. So that's where we're at. I'm okay. I'm doing all right. I've sort of got it sorted. Hey, Brendan. As far as emotionally and psychologically, I've got it sorted, but I really haven't got anywhere yet. So it's still early days, and we're still looking. And I've been in touch with real estate agents every day this week nearly, and not really got any real wins with it. So there you go. Hence the roll of packing tape. I've been packing stuff up. There's a new roll that I needed. Haven't got to that yet. Storage is fairly expensive too, and it's not too bad really. It's what, 50, 60 bucks a week for a storage unit, but it all adds up, and I really don't want to do that for too long either. And yeah, it's all right to say work harder or find a better income job, but I'm sort of pretty happy where I am, so I'd rather stay there and have a stress-free run and a job that pays reasonably well than I would to move to something that pays a little bit better and does my head in pretty quick. Sorry, finishing a drink. Yeah, bustle van would be fantastic. Tiny house thing. And probably we could do the workshop thing in that too, but it all takes money and time, and I don't have either really. Look, there's a really nice 36-foot day cruiser down at Evans Head, moored on the river, that's for sale for 47,000 or something. And for about 2 minutes I thought about that. That would be pretty awesome. However, it's going to need another 5 or 10 grand spent on it in maintenance in the next 10 years, 2 years. And that's a full-time job in itself, and you've got to be passionate about boats, and you've got to sort of live on the water, which is a problem for me too, because I don't work anywhere near the water. So that's not going to happen. And then you've got to have mooring and all that sort of stuff as well. So not any better off, I don't think. But something like that would be awesome, and I'd be really keen to have, or to build a tiny house or whatever, but a bit more notice would be good. Don't need a lot of space. Craig's right, at 47 grand a year maintenance cost too. That's exactly right. Probably not that much if you want to do it yourself, but you've got to slip it, and you've got to buy materials, and you've got to put some hours, and it's fairly physical hard work into getting it right. And then you've got to retrofit it because it's fitted up for 6 berth cabins and stuff like that, and mostly it looks like it's been a yoga camp or something like that. So anyway, I've got friends that live in boats too, and that's pretty cool, but I'm not a boating person enough to make that work, I don't think. Probably if I took something like that on, I would be within 12 months, but right now I'm not. So Russell's got the right idea. Somewhere to put it would be even better. Claim squatters' rights. Yeah, thanks, Warren. No, they can't. They've got to give me a bit of time on it, but I really want to get this sorted and resolved pretty quickly, as quick as I can. That's where I'm at with it. So that's what I need to do, is get this workshop up and running again pretty quick, because it's put a lot of projects on hold, to be honest. Not that they weren't already on hold. Are we back? Sorry, guys, are we back? I think we're back. Sorry about that. Anyway, that's where we're at. You guys sent me some money week before last, and I really appreciate that, as overflow from the bandsaw purchase, and I really appreciate that. I wanted to say thanks everyone who pitched into that, but I bought a couple of things, and some of them come today, so we'll move on. Not all of them come today, but this did. And this wasn't a crazy big purchase either, but these are a bit crap. Probably they're also not a very difficult thing to make, but to make one as good as this is for the money is a bit difficult. A centre finder. Mine's fallen apart, which is a bit of a cow. The screw in the spring, they're very simple the way they work, right? This is it. It's the one I got. So all this is, the ends have got threaded studs on them, and they're screwed together with a spring on each end. and that's what holds it together. And you can spring load it here. You can pull that apart just slightly if you need to. See that? And that's what makes it work. So this is probably all right. And it's got a bit smaller on the end than the one I had. I'm still going to collet, and it should be pretty good. But it wasn't particularly expensive, and it's something I needed. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. And to be honest, I wouldn't have spent any of that money at all if I'd known this was coming up this week. But anyway, you've got to, that's what it is, and that's how we are. Don't know why that's doing that. We've had bad Vodafone reception here in Australia the last week or so. In particular here for some reason. Work's been dropping in and out a bit too. I don't know why that is. Hopefully if we get a new place we can really sort of fix that too, because there's no actual phone lines down to this place, which is a bit of pain, and that's why the rent was really cheap. Of course, in the 15 years that I've been here, rent's gone up quite a lot, so I'm sort of still reeling from that discovery. What do you do with the pointy end? Really good question. Pointy end. I guess if you're using it at a set depth, it works. Good question. If anyone wants to make a video on what you do with the pointy end, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, I'll probably Google it and make one myself. This came from Aussie. They're all right. They've got a reasonable range of stuff, but they're way, way, way too slow posting and shipping. But anyway. Kevin's got it. Thanks, Kevin. Anyway, the printer was working a bit this weekend. We got we have a frog. Just for the fun of having a frog. No particular reason for that. Hummingbird for the fun of having a hummingbird, but this is quite a big project, and I've started it a while ago, and it's sort of ongoing. I haven't really been... Hey, Tinker, good to see you. I haven't really been putting a lot of effort into it. But this is... still a work in progress, and it needs a lot of fine-tuning. But it's animatronic, basically. The hummingbird moves backwards and forwards, and the wings flap, so it hovers. It's got a motor and gearbox in it, an electric motor. So that's something I've been messing with. None of these gears line up as well as I would like yet, so it's still quite a work in progress to get it all working. Some of these little ball joints and things need a bit more work. PETG for these yellow pieces probably was a stupid idea, but that's what I had, because you get a bit of ooze on the bottom layer, and the holes and things don't seem to hold size particularly well in this material, whereas the PLA is completely different. So it's moderately complicated mechanism with a lot of gears. At some point I might finish it. Still printing bits for it. It's an ongoing thing, but in view of not having a whole lot else to actually show anyone, that's something I've been messing around with slowly. I've never seen a real hummingbird. The bit about the workshop again? Oh my gosh. Which bit are we doing a bit at the workshop? Yeah, not sure it's going to do 1200 beats per minute. I'm pretty confident it's not, to be honest. It'll be a fairly slow motion thing, but all these gears need some work. Since 8 p.m. workshop bit, what have we got? 25 minutes of workshop bits. Anyway, I'll give Matty a ring and talk to him at some point. Anyway, that's sort of another project. Another thing is this job for Bruce with them. Now, Bruce just said they're saying, can you fix it? No, I can't. Don't know anything about it, really. Oh, and that's no good. It's time to go to BEI or something decent. Yeah, time to upgrade. That's what that's telling you. So this is Bruce's sign. I don't know if you can see that. It says mullock bin is what it says, which is probably an Australian colloquialism. I don't know. Mullock bin. But I had trouble straightening this out, to be honest. It was pretty bent up and it had been shot at, so forth, so on. It's been sitting here for a while and I haven't really done anything with it because I really didn't know how to straighten it out. But the bead roller's the answer. So I've cleaned this up with the bead roller and it's got pretty tidy. This one was a bit more of a mess, so I put a bit of filler in it the last couple of days, over a few days, and got it looking somewhere near. So coated paint on that and it'll look pretty good. It's not quite perfect yet, but it's getting there. And I'll give it a coat of gloss white and some black on it. But yeah, it's starting to look sort of a bit like it should. So I'd be pretty happy with that. So that's a job. I want to get that done and out of the way and back to him. Because I've been a bit slack on it and it's really not a fun job. But the bead roller's the machine for this. So really good to have it for that sort of thing. Not that I'm ever going to restore another street sign, ever. Hey, Matty. Good to see you. Anyway, so that's another job that I've been messing around with off and on. I've also been messing with the bead roller a bit and trying out various things and just making a mess with it. But apart from that, it's just been half hour here and there while I've in between packing boxes and ringing real estate agents and dealing with other stuff. So that's where I'm at. Got no idea where I'm going to put all this stuff, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff here. And yeah, got to think about that. Maddie, I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call later. Talk to you. But yeah, you're late. Apart from that, we're sort of... It's been a pretty frantic weekend. I've got doing a stack load of laundry that's been in storage and folding it up again and putting it away and deciding what I want and what I don't want to do. Linen and stuff. And yeah, just slowly getting stuff out and taking it to the storage unit. And at some point I'll I'll have a reasonable amount of space, but I don't know. It's sort of, don't know. It's going to be a little while. Stuart's got the corn tool and cutter grinder bug. If anyone's got a set of castings, I had a set. Dad reminded me that I did sell them a little while ago when I was down there, so I'll be in touch with you about that too, Stuart. Sorry. I do know where there's another set though, so if you wanted to hit someone up, I might know someone who might be able to help. Bill's got it. Yep, landlord kicked the bucket and I'm going to move. That's where we're at. So, it's all small stuff. I've got probably 2 boxes of DVDs that are no use or ornament to anyone really now. I might get rid of them, you know, because they sit here. And how long since anyone here watched a DVD? Good question. It's been a while. That might be an option. I don't know. And I've got a lot of books. I don't know if you noticed, but I've got a lot of books, and books incoming. I bought a book with some money that you guys seemed fit to put into a bit of a donation fund for me, and I really appreciate that. But I did buy a book on yeah, no, we'll talk about that when it comes. It should be here next week. It'll be something to look at. Yeah, 3,000 hours to build the corn. There you go. How far through are you, Maddie? We won't feel bad if you do something else in between. But holy cow, 3,000 hours. Brendan's still on Betamax. And Betamax even a thing. Yeah, I do remember that. Look, seriously, workshops. I looked pretty seriously at a couple of places about 3 or 4 years ago because I really would like a workshop in an industrial complex somewhere. But they go for a crazy amount of money. The couple that I looked at weren't particularly big, and they were over $750,000. Trouble is, Maddie, I've gotta have, and Warren, I've got to have some sort of an income. But yeah, it's a Bill remembers the Beta versus VHS wars back in the day. Oh gosh, now we've got Blu-ray and DVD. That didn't get quite as serious. At least stupid formats like mini discs didn't happen. Things went online before it got really crazy. Could live in a cupboard under the stairs. If we had a cupboard under the stairs, I'd be absolutely okay with that. I don't need a lot of living space. I need some workshop space. I need a bedroom and a bathroom, really, to be honest, and a sink. I'm good with that. Honestly, that's probably all I need as far as living space. Do need a hot shower. So I need hot water. So probably a shower. And as far as kitchen cupboards and things, I probably don't need very much at all. I need a bench and a sink. And probably some sort of cooktop and a washing machine. There we go. But what I do need is about 70 60, 70 square metres of workshop space. And from there, we can do all sorts of things, because this is getting too cramped and too difficult to do things. I'd love some space. Can't get projects out because I've got to put them away and get the other projects out to do other things, and it's complicated. But if I can have a couple of benches set out with projects, I'd be sorted, really. what we need is a job in Eden. No, a job anywhere. And probably I could go back to Tasmania, where I come from, and probably there's work down there, but probably there's not too. And if I wanted to do things, there would be jobs down there, but it's such a difficult place to get around, and the Gold Coast is great because public transport and systems are in place that you're really not inconvenienced at all by not having the space. And that's the trouble here, is you haven't got space to park a car. So at some point, yes, I could get a vehicle, but I really don't want to drive to work. And yeah, it's difficult. Anyway, we're starting from a fairly difficult spot. Yeah, folks have got space, but it's in Launceston, and it's a long way to get anything. Myena's cheap, Bill says. Yep. Often thought that Myena would be a good spot to live. No one else goes there, and it's not cold for a lot of the year. I mean, there are months where it's, you can go outside without a jacket sometimes, and it doesn't rain. There are days at Myena where it doesn't actually rain. So yeah, good. Mathina's good too. I said it's 3,700 or something for a house and land at Mathina. Main Street. Probably there's not a lot of amenities attached, but anyway. I'd like to stay here. I'd like to keep my job. So that's where we're at with that. So I don't know where it's going or what's going to happen. But at this point, I'm looking. And if push comes to shove, we'll stick some stuff in a container and move it. But I really don't want to do that. Moved up here to escape all that. I shouldn't say that because there's some nice people live in Tasmania, but there we go. And Myena is close to everything. I mean, if you want something, people deliver. Uber Eats delivered to Myena? Probably not. I don't think they go much past Watermana, to be honest. In fact, I don't think you get anything past. I think you struggle to get Uber Eats at Deloraine, but prove me wrong. What else? What else is happening? So now I've got a blown light globe in the other room, which is a real pain in the neck because I forgot to get one today. So I'm still sitting in the dark in there if I go back in there. So that's not much fun. Oh, it'll happen at some point, Craig. It'll happen. An Australia-wide one will happen too, but just got to get over this COVID thing. In other news, today was the last day of compulsory mask wearing in Queensland, so that's pretty awesome. We're back off that without any more cases, with no more cases, so we're pretty happy about that. Pity some people in other places in the world who are struggling with it, but we got through 2 weeks without any transmission, so we're back to normal again tomorrow. And that's pretty exciting. Anyway, I don't know if there's much else to report because I haven't really done anything. I had a couple of people who are interested in this. I asked about this week, and I got it out and took some photos for a forum, and that's as far as I got because I'm sort of fairly reluctant to even look at it at the moment on account of I might get actually interested in it. But this is a work in progress. Willem's bought a planer, so that's good. He hasn't said that, but that's what I read out of that, is that he's at home busy sweeping the floor to put a planer in. And good luck to you, Willem. I haven't seen that project before. Yeah, Kevin, congrats on the awesome project build and the running engine. She's looking a bit tight, and you've got a couple of little leaks in the head gasket, and the governors are not kicking in at all, which is bringing issues. But apart from that, the thing looks like it's running pretty nice and starting pretty nice. That's awesome. Nice lathe, easy to fix. No, there's issues with this lathe. Nice lathe, absolutely. It's a Lorch. It's an LL from about 1904, 1905, something like that. It's pretty tidy. It wasn't. We actually rebuilt this, and I did a video on this headstock. It is pretty tidy now, but this actually got rebuilt in here. I'm pretty pleased about it, actually. Good job, because this headstock was ground out a crazy amount out of here for running a belt, because someone hadn't thought about how to set the thing up. So we fixed that. Bearings and everything on it look pretty good, and the headstock and everything, we'll put that back together at some point in the next few days, because it's sitting here on the bench, and these bearings and everything need to go back in so that we don't lose any bits in the move. Tailstock and everything's pretty sweet. Bed's pretty good. It's a high pedestal one, which is awesome machine, really, because on a 900 bench this gives you about the right work height. That was sort of an optional accessory, or an unusual sort of an accessory, and it's a really good one because it makes this a fairly usable machine. There are issues with it. This come from Matty, actually. Matty gave me a good deal on this, so thanks, Matty, for sending another project up that I'll never get finished. Might put this together. While we're thinking about it, and then I won't have to do it later. And we got that the wrong way around. Let's try this way. That fits. There we go. Thanks, Craig, for the link. Matty should definitely have a go at an engine. Yeah, go and check out Kevin's. I'm going to echo that. Go and check out Kevin's video. It's good. And it's going. I saw it tonight. Anyway, apart from that, this is pretty tidy. This is now quite considerably better than it was. This is the head's tail stock and everything's pretty good. Just an odd taper in here at course band launch. I think it's a 1.2 degree taper in this, which is a nuisance. But it's got all the right hardware. It's got the proper tap fittings for the bottom and all that stuff. There is a problem with it though, and this is it. We'll move over this way a bit so you can actually see. Put my fingers over the camera. Sorry. The issue here is that this is broken out here. This dovetail for this pin is snapped here. This is all pulled away, so that's all crumbly there. If we pull, we can actually move that. And this one too is pretty crumbly. So ideally, this block needs remaking, which is probably the best way. And if you're going to do that, I really don't know. I honestly don't. This is matched numbers to the rest of the lathe. It also has got number 8 on it, which is probably a good thing, but it's getting on a bit. So that means that this slide's 1900 and as well before World War One anyway. So that means things like Leuwenhosen threads and odd metric sizes and a little bit imperial mixed up in amongst it and all that stuff. So you also got a bent handrail there that I never ever noticed before, but not crazy seriously bad. It's fixable. I would say that this is bent here where it's been dropped or something at some point. So if you were going to remake this, which is what it needs, this block here, you'd make that out of a decent piece of iron or something, or even brass or bronze, and use all the hardware. It'd be nice. But if you were going to do it, you'd put ball screws in it and decent calibrated hand wheels on here. Or decent collars for actual calibration on this one and this one, because this one hasn't got one. So that's sort of what's holding me back on this lathe rebuild. I'd love to get this up and running. This is a beautiful little lathe. It's about the same size as a Chauvelin 70. It's a really nice machine, but unfortunately, this is where we're at with it. And probably you could just cut this out here and make a piece or 2 pieces out of steel and screw in here and then remachine it and make a pretty decent job of it that way and keep as much of the original as possible. And that's a way to do it too. Other thing you could do is put this on the shelf and go and have a look on eBay Germany and buy a 1960s one with the decent satin chrome wheels and internal dust-free lead screws and a multi-fix tool holder and all that stuff, and probably have a half decent lathe at the end of it. But that weighs dollars, and at the moment that hasn't happened. So where I'm at with that, I don't know anyone who hasn't seen that, but anyway. Tom's back. G'day. No, ball screws for like no backlash, stuff like that. At this point, I'm not doing anything with this at any point in the near future, so don't stress about that. It'll happen at some point in the future. It needs space to set it up. It needs overhead drive. It needs decent speed reduction motor. It needs foot pedal controls. It needs all sort of stuff that the big one still needs as well. So I could spend a lot of money on this machine. To give you some sort of a comparison, a Chauvelin 70 in half decent conditions about $4,000 to $6,000 anywhere. So I think you would go pretty hard to spend that much money on this, but I'm not entirely convinced that you would have as good a machine at the end of it either. It's certainly a lot lighter in the headstock and the bearings and in the slides and things like that. So being about the same size is okay, but it's about the same size as the old Chauvelin 65. But I can't really justify $5,000 on a 70. So this is probably where I'm going to be with it. A nice little precision lathe. Anyway, this goes in here. Reluctant to put it in here because it will break. And this plate here goes across here. And that's what locates everything on the bed. And then it's got a tap wheel in all true Lorch fashion. My other ones, the big guys, got these. We'll get the big one over here for a comparison if everyone's got time and nothing else to do. We'll have a look. It's easy just to slip it off. It's actually done some work, so it's a bit dirty, but that's the same thing on the Lorch L, or the Lorch A model, compared to the Lorch L. So that's a pretty severe sort of a donkey of a thing. It's pretty big, but if you look at it, it's got the same deal on the bottom. It's got the tap wheel. This has actually got the bed built into it here, whereas the other one's got a sliding plate, so it's adjustable in and out, which is probably not a bad idea on a little lathe because you can move it to the strongest point. It's got the same, sorry, straighten up. Got the same system here. This is a much later one. This is 1960, so all these are satin chrome, nice, pretty sweet. This is like silky smooth, really, really nice slide. But this came out of Germany, and I paid a lot of money for this in this condition. And it wasn't even in this condition. It was kind of crap, and I rebuilt it. If you ever look, I rebuilt all the top here, and I think I've done a pretty good job of that. But this has got all, the later ones got all enclosed slide screws in it, whereas the early ones, up until about World War II, had this system here with the lead screws off to the side of the dovetail, which sort of works, but they get dirty pretty quick. This one's in the middle, but this one's off to the side, whereas this one here is in the middle. One of these to match this is what I'd really like. So if anyone sees one and is feeling charitable, let me know and spend some money on it, and I'll give you a shipping address. But it's that's a Lorch slide that actually works, and it's a pretty good one. Yeah, I really don't want to sell it, Maddie. I really would like to hang on to that little lathe. At this point, this is worth dollars. Alistair's Riddick at Ventures with a Very Small Lathe, he's sort of rebuilt one in the last little while. I think he had some videos about it. Gosh, this is dirty. Sorry about that. It's actually on the working machine though. This has got a round corner on here, so you can spin it round and lift it out without unscrewing everything, which is a pretty smart idea. You don't have that luxury on this one. It just slides off the dovetail though. These have got all anti-backlash nuts in here. It's got an adjusting screw there. That's actually loose. Just realised that. Okay, we might use that. That's a bit crap. Anyway, whether it's just the backlash screws come out, might need a grub screw in there, tightening up, or whether it's actually it's come loose. I think that it's probably the back, probably the grub screw. Yep. That's all it is. Let's fix that. So, yeah. This I've got no idea what it's worth. I think I paid a pretty fair price for it, to be honest. I might be worth a little bit more, but I would really like to see it going, because it's a machine that'll get a lot of use if I had it up and running. Absolutely. But bits for this are crazy difficult to find because they're Lorch, really. These are both fairly standard fittings. Like a Chauvelin 102 will go on this lathe beautifully, and a Chauvelin 70 will go on this one. But a Chauvelin 70 slide like this is worth $1,000, and a Chauvelin 102 slide like this is probably worth $1,500. But this is as good, I believe this is as good as a Chauvelin slide. But really, I haven't had a look underneath it for a while though. I'm probably, in time and labour, I've spent that much on this slide. Anyways, back on the lathe. Congratulations, Tom. 3816 threads. The stock is 618 thou. How long are they? Hang on. Kim Mazzelli. 38 is 375 thou, not 750. So what have we got here? If you want to cut 3/4 threads, which is 750, then 6/8 is way too small. So that's where we're at with that. Anyway, this lathe will eventually live, but at this point, sort of, it's not going to happen at this point. It's going to go back. Wrong piece. .68 is what, 60,000. There's a mil and a half under. Mats, that's not entirely correct. Turns out too small. If you, I mean, how long's the thread? Kimberzelic, how long's the thread? And Willem's right. It's always you need two, one to fix the other. Yeah, metric, I could just talk you through it. That's no worries at all. But imperial layer threads are, I've got to stop and think about it. But he one of us off. Oh, come across on Discord. Why aren't you on our Discord channel? 50 millimeters long. Look, probably if it's 10 thou under, it's not going to make a lot of difference. On that thread, that's where I'm at with it. I don't think it's going to make much difference. I'd put it on there and try it. I think if it's loose, it ain't going to be because it's 10 thou under. That's where I'm at with that. If it's loose, it'll be operator error. Absolutely. Anyway, so that's what we're up to. That's what's happening. It's all going down. I haven't had dinner yet. I've been at work all day. I haven't had time to even like go for lunch or a bathroom break until about 5 o'clock. And at least we're busy. And I've got machine tools and things here to move at some point. And I think, I don't know, really in storage they should need to go in first. But, I mean, where do you even start? Got no idea. Got no idea. anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate that. Keep you posted. Live stream will continue on as normal. I will do a proper update on all this when I found someone, or when I've had a look at them. Might do a bit about rental, storage rentals and things like that, if anyone's particularly interested. But apart from that, there's not much happening. I'm trying to get a bit done and get some projects finished so that I can put them away and pack stuff into boxes. That sounds awesome, Harry. Oh, excuse me, I'm starting to yawn. But thanks, and congrats, Kevin, again. Mark Osborne thinks John Creasy's going to hit his head. Fair enough. And thanks everyone for all your support and everything you've done. I really appreciate that. It's awesome. I can't say that enough. And anyway, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go, and I'll catch up with you fine people next week. Maybe you might get a video before then, but you might not either. So that'll be why if you don't. Take care. I'm out, and be kind to each other.